Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We've got two pretty cards featuring the Natural Botanicals Stamp Set that we're going to be creating with today. My name is Lori DeGroot from Loritamarie Crafts, and I love to come here live on Thursdays so that I can give you fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. I hope you guys are having a good week. If you're taking the time to watch the replay later, I always really appreciate that. You guys can always subscribe and like and all those fun YouTube things that actually really do make a difference to small businesses. So thank you so much for that. Um, just a couple things going on. The biggest one is February flew by. It's over tomorrow. and that means it's the end of celebration. So if you have been waiting on maybe placing an order, or you're thinking about celebration, or you don't know what it is, be sure to check it out because tomorrow is the very last day that we can take advantage of it. So it's when you spend $75, or for every $75, you get to choose a free product. And in the month of February, Stampin' Up! Added all this extra products as well as what was available in the little brochure. And they have been fantastic offerings. So a few things are gone, I think, already, but the stamp set that I'm using today, the Natural Botanicals, is included in the free things. So you could place an order and get this for free, and you can make these cards. It's so awesome. The other thing I have going on is my registration is open for my spring extravaganza class, which is going to be in the middle of March. Um, Technically, it's like 5 days before spring, but we're just going to like encourage spring to come early this year. And we're going to be making 6 cards, so 3 designs, full on springy themes. For whatever spring occasions you have coming up, Easter and all that stuff that's coming up. And Easter is like really late this year, so we have lots of time to plan for Easter, which is kind of nice. Yeah, so you can find all the information on my website, loritamariecrafts.ca. Look under classes, and that's where I try to keep it really updated of what my classes are. And you can always check the calendar too of what's going on. And for this one, I have options for everybody. So local in Canada and international, you can always get the tutorial. So that's all of that. I just wanted to make that really quick today, but I do want to remind you, Celebration, go check it out. So not only you get free products, if you combine a few friends' orders, you can get extra rewards. And if you want to join Stampin' Up! Because you just love it, and you get a super special offer with that as well. So you can always contact me for more details. So let's just get to the crafting today. And I'm excited. Oh, you got a sneak peek. I'm excited about these cards because I have a really fun color combo. So let me show you the stamp set first. And like, I don't know, like maybe it grabbed your eye in the catalog, and maybe it's one of those ones that you just like flipped on by. So it's actually in the January to April mini catalog. So let me know if you recognize it from the catalog or just because it's in celebration now. But it is one of Stampin' Up's reversible sets, which means that this is actually one stamp. So one side is the detailed image and one side is the flat image. And so it's kind of fun for a little like 2-step stamping, and it's also fun for layering up and for adding easy color to the lined images. So it's there's a few, I think there's a few available right now, but this one is one of them. So for our first color combo, I'm using my favorite color of the moment. I don't know if you guys, do you like go through phases where you like just automatic, like all of a sudden you love a color and you're using it in everything? Well, this is my current favorite color, Petunia Pop. It's so pretty, and maybe this is me just urging spring on or whatever, but so I'm going to be using Petunia Pop, and a great color buddy, something that it stamps really well with, is Bubble Bath. So I'm going to be using that. And then for like a bright punch, I'm going to use Shy Shamrock. So that is my color combo for this one. And let's get to it. So when I was designing this, I literally just played around for a while. Sometimes you've got to like stamp things out and play so that you can see how the stamp set really works and how you like it. So I would say feel free to play around and to have a little fun with your stamps. So for the background, I wanted to use this one here. So we'll go ahead and grab this. And you can see this is only images at 60%, right? So they're a lot bigger, actually, 40% bigger to be exact. Okay, and I'm gonna start with stamping on the smooth side. So we'll put the detailed side up, pick that up with my block, and I'm gonna stamp in Shy Shamrock to create the background. And I do want to stamp off a couple times, so that's why I've got my scrap paper here. So we're gonna ink that up. Oh, and I know I was gonna use, so I am gonna use my my piercing mat, so like the nice squishy mat, because sometimes with a whole solid image, you might get uneven pressure. The glass mats are pretty good for giving nice even pressure, but just to make sure I can get it, because sometimes you'll get like a bubble where you didn't quite stamp. So this way, with that like extra foamy bit, you're gonna get good coverage. So I'm gonna stamp one kind of this way. Oh, see, and I didn't use my mat. You guys should have yelled out at me. Okay, that's a good example of what happens. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That was not good pressure. Okay, let's try this again. So not only am I going to stamp off on the mat, I'm going to move my paper over and also do it. And then we're going to get it. And then you can kind of see too, right? That bubble that I was missing. So much better. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to do a second one. Okay, that away, grab this. And so then I'm just going to kind of move it over so it's kind of layering up like this. And give it good pressure down. There. And now I want to use the other side. So I'm going to just grab my Simply Chamois and clean that up. And then we're just going to flip it around to make sure we got the right side. All right, so now we're going to ink it up, make sure we've got the bumpy side, or the detailed side, I guess. And we're going to, my hands are kind of in the way, but I'm going to stamp it up kind of like this. And then that just kind of creates the background for our card. And now we're going to stamp some of the other details. So let's just get that one out of the way. And going to grab this next kind of large leaf. And we're going to do the little cone flower and the little like daisy. So I'll just grab those all at the same time. And I like to stamp the detailed image first. So let's see, get that on there. Then, okay. Lots of stamping today. So I still need that. So now let's grab some scrap paper. And I'm going to first stamp this one in the Shy Shamrock. And then we're going to clean it up. This definitely makes me think of my garden and getting ready to be outside. You know, like that, there's like that meme that goes around online of like, this is fall spring, where you get like that fall sense of security that spring is coming. I feel like that's what's happening right now because it's really warm in Calgary this week. We get Chinooks from the mountains, so like warm air blows in. So we were like crazy cold, and now we're like super warm. And I know it's going to get cool again. All right, so I've got the flat side. I stamped off. I'm going to remember to bring this. And now this one, because the leaf is bending, it's not a perfect match, but it's just going to add enough color to the leaves that it doesn't really matter. Okay. Then let's close this up. We are going to have to do a little bit of fussy cutting. So that's going to be all right. Okay, so for the cone flower, I'm going to stamp it in Petunia Pop. But then on the solid side, instead of Stamping Off, I'm going to use Bubble Bath because they are like they're a perfect match for tone. And so you don't need to do the Stamping Off. So we'll just move this out of the way. Sometimes I'm more of like, it's gonna sound funny, like a paper crafter. Like I love my DSP, or I'm die cutting or doing all that kind of stuff. So this was a good challenge for me to just do stamping and make a card out of it. So you can see how that looks really awesome together. And then last but not least, here is the little one. And this one I'm just going to use Bubble Bath. So I'm going to stamp the outline first, clean it off, ink up the flat side. I am going to stamp it off, even though it's a light color, just so we get the detail of the petals. And then stamp that on. That one's pretty light, but you can see that's one. All right, now let's grab our scissors. I think that's all the stamping I have to do. Yeah, so let's move that out of the way. And then what I like about images like this is that it's kind of forgiving when you cut it out. So I wouldn't be too worried about perfection or anything like that, because I've got a little shadow anyway with the way that it's stamped. And so it kind of allows for easy cutting. So I did go, yeah, with this like cutting out, because then you can layer things a bit better, right? Because if you're just stamping, then obviously your colors are going to start blending all together. And just move your paper instead of your scissors a little bit, and that's going to help you just turn a little bit faster. And if I seem like I'm going really fast to you, I do go faster when I'm on my video so that you don't have to watch me cut forever. But I also am crafting a lot, so I got lots of practice. Okay, so you can see this one, some of the leaves are white, some of it has the color, but I think that looks just fine. And just keep going here. I love this Shy Shamrock. It's fun to kind of figure out, sometimes with a really bold color like this, you got to find like a good color combination so that it's not like too garish, right? Like you don't want to go too crazy. But I think the Petunia Pop is a nice match in brightness, and then the Bubble Bath like softens it a little bit. Pool Party is also a good color that goes with this, and I'm going to add a little strip of a piece of cardstock of Pool Party in here, which I don't know if I grabbed a piece. I'm going to have to get one. All right, so I am going super fast, so it's not super neat, but there we go. So I got my 3 pieces cut out, and before we do that, I do need that piece of Pool Party. So did I grab one? No. So give me 1 second here. My cardstock is just behind me, so it's all good. I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock, and I want it to be about 3 by 1 1/4. So 3 by 1 1/4. And I think we'll go ahead and put this on our card base first, and then we'll start layering up all the pieces. Okay, so I am going to use Bubble Bath as my card base. Nice, fun color. And let's just try to find my, see, oh, there's my boo-boo again, staring at me. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this on. Then we'll put on this little piece of Pool Party that we cut out. And I'm just kind of putting it to the side here like this. And then these are all going to be flat, and we'll get our sentiment as the piece that pops up off the card with dimensionals. So I'm going to put adhesive all on the back of these. Okay. And I'm just gonna like loosely put them on because when I get my sentiment on, I might need to move things around. But the leaf, then the coneflower, and then the little daisy, I'm just kind of tucking in behind like so. And then we need a sentiment. So I was trying to think of a stamp set that I could use that would be a good match for this. And I decided that I wanted to make them like a set of thank you cards. And so a stamp set that I haven't used in a while is the My Small Business one. And I love it because of all the different thank yous in it. It's got some other fun little coordinating things that may be kind of businessy, but the thank yous, like you've got 4 awesome ones. And so any of these would look really good. So for this one, I'm going to use this small thanks. And is that big enough? I kind of like the font on it, right? Like it's a little bit different. And I am going to emboss. Sometimes I pre-emboss so that you don't have to watch me do all my embossing, but I didn't quite get there today. Okay, so let's use the embossing buddy. I guess I need some Versamark. And then we'll ink that up. And I think I've got it like pretty centered on this little strip of Petunia Pop, which is like 3 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And then I just keep my white powder in this like the tray that you can get now because I'm using it all the time. Sometimes I have to go over twice to kind of get good coverage, but there we go. And then we will quickly heat set this. Try not to spill my powder all over myself. Let's see how it looks. And then the awesome part is that it comes with like little tweezers, right? So that we don't burn our fingers off. And so I'll just grab my heat tool and we go to number 2 and we'll heat set it. So it just takes a second to warm up. And then it's pretty fast. I don't be blurry, kind of. There we go. There. Trying to get the camera to zoom in on that for you guys. All right. Try to hook that back up. And now we basically have all our pieces. So I am going to put a few dimensionals on the back of that. Just an easy way to add interest. And then you could leave it like this, but if you want to step it up a tiny bit more, a couple of my favorite standbys. So linen thread is a good thing to always have on hand. Or if you've got white baker's twine or whatever you've got in the colors that you're creating with. I didn't really have any baker's twine that went with these colors. So linen thread is always a good option. And I just about 10 inches, I fold it back and forth, stick a glue dot in the middle, and then I'll just layer this up top. And so this kind of fits in the middle of that piece of Pool Party. And gotta lean over, try to get it straight-ish. And then for gems, whatever you got. But did you know that the brushed brass butterflies are free right now too? I mean, these are like a favorite since the day they came out, and they look good on everything with flowers anyway, maybe. Maybe not Christmas time, but otherwise I love the butterflies, and I like how they're so flat, so they look really great. They work really great on your cards. All right, there is our first card. Now let's go on to our second one, and it's like similar but different. So you can see how you can create a little set. It's kind of what I was picturing, where like each one kind of plays off the next one. So we need another piece of just basic white here that we're stamping on. So let me just grab that. And I am going to need my scrap paper again. So, but this time I thought instead of the Shy Shamrock, let's like deepen the color palette a little bit. So I'm still going to use um, Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath, but now I'm going to bring in Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, and a pop of Lemon Lime Twist. And these colors look really good together too. Sometimes I just like to pull out the colors from my ink tray and like make color combos this way, and then you can kind of see if the tones look good together or not. Okay, so let's start with Lost Lagoon. And Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock are color buddies. So again, they're going to look really awesome together. So that's an easy way to make color combos. I think there's a list somewhere of color buddies. And then you can see which ones all go together. All right. So with the Lost Lagoon and the flat side of this leaf image, I'm going to ink this up. And I don't know if I stamped it off now that I'm going here. I'm not used to using this piercing mat, so I keep forgetting to grab it. No, I think pretty sure I did full strength. So I'm just going to stamp 4 of these kind of around the edge of the card. And one more. And I found when I made this card, it ended up looking a little tropical, which I was kind of surprised at. So it's just kind of like the way that the colors went together. All right, so now we need the line detail side. And I'm going to use Pretty Peacock now. And again, it's not a perfect match, but it looks really good just kind of layering these ones up together. And this one. The last one there. So the next thing I want to layer up is the flowers, but of course I couldn't just stamp right on because they would just get lost and it would get messy looking. So this thing I did do ahead, so you don't have to watch me cut out lots of flowers. But I did the same flower that I did on the first one. So the cone flowers stamped in Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath. So I wanted 3 of those. And then we're going to do a few of the small leaf here. There's another shape actually that didn't work into my cards today, but there's this one too, which is kind of fun. And this one, because it is symmetrical, you can get the exact kind of shading for it. So we're going to use this little guy and stamp in Lemon Lime Twist. And I just found it easier to stamp the outline first. And I think I've already got a couple cut out. So I think I just need 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. Clean that off. Flip it over. And then I will stamp off these ones. Stamp it off. Stamp it off. If you don't stamp it off, then it'll just all blend together, right? And then you're not going to see the detail as well. So there's our cutie little leaves, and these are pretty easy to cut out. So I think I can move all that now. So again, I'm just gonna quickly cut these out. Now, Lemon Lime Twist is actually a color that I do not use a whole lot. It was an in color first, and then in one of the color refreshes, I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before, Stampin' Up! Brought it in as a permanent color. And it's like a fun little accent color, but sometimes really bright colors, I don't know what to do with, which sounds funny because I do like bright colors. All right, so now we want to layer this around. And do I need to do the sentiment next? I think we can do the sentiment after. So I'm going to do this before I put it on the card because I got to cut off a few of the pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to use my seal. Whatever adhesive that you like. Sometimes I just find it easier to grab my seal than anything else, even though these are kind of small. And then I'll get it on everything, and then I can lay things out how I want. And I had a couple of these done from before. Okay. So I'm going to have a sentiment kind of running across the middle. And so we're going to just kind of loosely put everything here. So just trying to fill in the spaces. And let's see, and then I think I had one at the bottom. I lost a leaf in the last second here. I know I had one. I cut out 3, right? Okay, mystery, mystery, mystery. Did I slide it off? How was that? Oh, hey guys, for my card class peeps, guess what? It stuck to my sweater. When in doubt, look on your sweater. We're always losing things and they're always like stuck to our shirt. Okay, I'm gonna just leave that loose and then get my sentiment. Oh man, I should have looked there first. Okay, same stamp set. I'm gonna use this nice big thanks this time. And I have a strip of Pretty Peacock that is 5 1/4. Oh, it's right there. 5 1/4 by 1 inch. And we're also going to emboss this one. And I'm going to stamp it a little off center. And then that just kind of gives a fun look too. So we'll ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it a little to the right. I'll just pick some of that up. And to get some good coverage there, you can kind of shake it around. Give it a light tap. That looks pretty good. You can always use your little paintbrush or whatever to get the little extra pieces off. And then we are going to have to set this one too. So just give me 1 sec to do that. Use my tweezers again. Shouldn't take very long. There, done. So these are fun. And if these aren't your favorite colors, you can play around with your own fun color combination. Lots of ways you could change this up. Maybe a little more like traditional green for the leaves, if that's what you like. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Oops. Okay. Peel all those off. Okay. And then you can see I've got this a bit low, so that's why I wasn't sticking it down super tight, then I can move it. So I think about there, and the Pretty Peacock is supposed to go edge to edge. And I was kind of picturing this cone flower like sticking off a little bit. So once you're kind of happy with how everything looks, then I'm just going to go to the back and trim all the excess off. there. Okay, so it should be nice and even, and then we'll grab our seal. And it's gonna run out right at the very end. That's annoying. I think I got some Seal Plus here. Use that. Okay. And I'm gonna use the same base bubble bath. When I was originally designing this card, I was gonna change up the pinks and I was gonna add in Calypso Coral. But it like totally changed the whole feeling of it. And I was like, I should just use Petunia Pop and Bubble Bath again. And it looks so good with the pretty peacock. It's crazy. I love it. And then we're of course gonna add some butterflies. So just there's two sizes, all cute. Just add a few for that little pop of gold, which is gonna look great. And there is our second card. Let's bring back the first one. And then you could even make a couple more, and then you'd have a nice little fun set that they're all kind of matching. All right, bringing you guys back up here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that gave you like a little idea of how the Natural Botanical Stamp Set works, some ideas you can make with it, how reversibles work. And that was a lot of fun. And maybe that thank you stamp set. I kind of forgot about that one. It's kind of fun to go through your stash and pick out a set you haven't used for a while. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Always thank you for watching the replay if you took the time to do that. If you're ever looking for more information or ideas, information on classes or what's going on, you can find me at loritamariecrafts.ca. Also Instagram at Loritamarie Crafts. I'm there sort of consistently. So you can find me there. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you again next week with more fun projects. So until then, bye-bye.